Welcome to the live premiere. I'm just gonna get into all types of different characters. We still don't have a complete roster as far as some additional characters I wanted to really be able to talk about today, and you guys will be able to see this this weekend. And I'm gonna just try to make a new video before the actual game comes out to talk about the hidden characters. We still got 5 hidden characters or secret characters that we don't know about that's in the game to complete this roster, and it's 23 racers that we know about, and it's supposed to be a little bit more. I think it's supposedly supposed to be a little bit more. Is it more than 23 or is it just 23 solid racers? But we got several characters that you got, obviously Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails being in the game. We got all these other characters that's in it that can consist of the other characters outside of the Sonic universe. And I also end up listing the confirmed characters that we have listed for the game, but we have a few more characters that we just don't know about, and I wanted to talk about them. And in this, I want to talk about my villains wish list that I want to be able to bring to the table today, and just for something a little bit different, because I haven't seen anyone talk about villains that they want. And the one thing that I notice about these games, it could be any sort of racing game, even with games like Mario Kart, there's not that many villains. It's a lack of villains. It might be a little bit different from Mario Kart World, with the enemies getting in, the Mario enemies and things like that. But when it comes to Sonic and most of these other games that they've been coming out with, it's been a lack of villains. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. Let's start talking about some villains. What about the villains that people want to see? I might end up playing a race. I don't know if I want to play one, but these villains can have all types of different worlds and their tracks being included. Let's just pick something. But I wanted to just bring up the characters anyway. When you look at this roster, and even some people don't even play TSR anymore, Team Sonic Racing, this is the one I have still to this day. There's a lack of villains. Not many villains really be able to get in. They don't really get into the game. There's so many protagonist characters, and just looking at this list of the characters that we have confirmed so far for the game, I'm going to get ready to read and go through, and I'll also have my list in the description with timestamps. I'm not sure how long this will be, but I don't want to have it drag on and on and on. But you guys can post the villains that y'all want to see, enter, and join the race for CrossWorlds. It could be a Sega villain, it could be a third-party character if you want. We already talked about third-party characters in the previous video, and now I want to just focus on the villains and other additional characters, and I also want to just talk about some predictions of characters that might seem to be more likely that could be one of those hidden slots that we don't know about. So I might even have it backwards. Maybe it's 23 racers in total, and we just only have less than that number that we have for confirmed racers to be playable for this game, and that we've been able to see, but we haven't seen everyone yet. And maybe we'll probably end up getting a new playtest at some point if the game takes a little bit longer. But I'm going to be talking about more about that later on, going towards the end of the video. So I'm just going to start with all the confirmed characters so far that we have and that we know that's in the game. And just look at this roster. How many villains can you guys spot? Oh, wait a minute. It's only 3. I used to think Shadow the Hedgehog was a villain when I played Sonic Adventure 2, but he had his own reasons. He had his own purpose. You know, under the doctor's orders to gather more Chaos Emeralds, as he says for the cutscenes. Look for more Chaos Emeralds. I think that's what he tells Rouge. But anyway, it's not that many. Everybody else, it's just protagonists. It's this one column, this one individual column with Metal Sonic and Dr. Eggman. Just take a look at it. This one column with Metal Sonic and Dr. Eggman and then Zavok. These are all the villains that we got so far for this game. It was a little bit different from the other games, and the roster is a little bit bigger. But when you think about it, it's been a constant pattern of protagonists or heroes getting added. The Sonic universe, I feel like of course it has way more heroes, but we need some more villains getting it represented and to be able to get a spotlight in this game. And that's what I'm going to be talking a little bit about for this video for today, for this premiere. What's some of the villains that deserve a spot in the roster, even if they don't make the base roster, because we're going to get into that. Even if they don't make the base roster, they have a lot of plans of adding tons of characters in the near future, and that could also be able to be included as far as third-party characters that can get involved, and then we can get a CrossWorld, a new track to be playable that could be unlocked for paid DLC. I would love to see even more villains join this game, and I'm hoping to see several characters. But outside of just this roster, that's a little ridiculous because they basically only have Vector, only one Team Chaos member that's in here. So the confirmed characters that we have for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, we got Sonic, Eggman, Shadow, Knuckles, we got Amy, Tails, Metal Sonic, Sage, Vector's in here, he's by himself, and it's cool to see the full Team Chaos make it back. We got Jet, Silver, Omega, Big the Cat, Cream, Zazz, Rouge, Blaze, Zavok, Espio. I didn't even want him playable. Not Espio, I'm not talking about him. This character, Eggman. I didn't want to see this character in the game, but I'm gonna still give him a chance anyway. Eggman made it into the game. And for some reason when you play this game, just real quick, the Eggman appears as part of Eggman's team in the main campaign for the story. This is the only game that really had a story mode, or a team adventure, or adventure mode. So the Eggman got picked up for this game as a playable racer, and then we got Storm, Wave, and Charmy. I know it's out of order, but it's just all the different lists of characters that we have so far. So those are all the characters that we know that's going to be in it. It's 5 hidden characters that we still have to be able to find out and find out more about. It looks like that was just 23 characters. So I don't know what the full base roster is going to look like. Maybe it's going to go a little bit above it. Maybe it'll go close to 30. Let me see. 27 characters if the 5 characters get shown. So those are just the characters that we know so far that's in the game now, that's been seen, and we got the chance to really be able to see from the trailer, the banner, things like that. So now for this portion, I want to start talking about the hidden characters and pick 5 different characters that I think could possibly be able to get in, so that could have a really good chance of being one of the 5. It can go either way. It could be strictly Sonic characters, or it could be all Sega characters, which is another possibility, or it could be a mixed bag, which is what I'm thinking for these hidden characters. Maybe some people might disagree. It might be some other characters that y'all want to see instead. And I want in mind whoever gets in. They can, whoever is still missing can get in later, since they have a lot of plans for DLC, post-launch content. It's definitely going to be beneficial for the game, so it can be able to grow. The roster is going to be able to grow, and then we'll probably have some additional tracks and new content that we can look forward to. So the hidden characters that I selected from this first set, I did 2 different lists for predictions. So I wanted to make this as realistic as possible. I didn't want to just rush something out. I wanted to just really just take a look and find out who do we have so far, who do we have that's missing that could be a surprise spot, a surprise character to be playable, that can get a chance to get featured in this game. They can even get characters from the Sonic's past and even from the comic books as well, the comics, but I don't know nothing about those. But I did not really include those for my predictions. So these 5 hidden characters for these predictions, before we get into the villains wish list at the end, I went with Maria just to get this started. So the one thing I really liked, a little bit of an overshare, I was happy to see Maria made it back and got into Sonic and Shadow Generations. If you guys played it, Maria and Professor Gerald made it back. So those 2 characters I thought would probably be able to get in, but I went with Maria as one of the ideal picks that could be a hidden character, because she made her return in Sonic and Shadow Generations, part of Shadow's amazing story that they really put together. That was such a great story, and it was so much fun being able to play it and really see her return for a brand new Sonic game. So I went with Maria first, and then my next pick, I went with Knights. So I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I wanted to add at least one Sega rep that could possibly show up as a base roster character. And I think Knights has the biggest chance because she's already been in Sonic games before. Sonic and Knights have history, and she was able to be spotted in some Sonic games before in the past. I remember seeing, I didn't know who she was at first, but the first time I seen Knights was back in Sonic Adventure on the Sega Dreamcast when I was playing it for the first time. I had no idea who she was. I thought she was a Sonic character. So I went with her as a ideal pick as a hidden character. Maybe one of them could consist, one of those slots could be a Sega character or two. So Knights, my second pick, and then I went with Mephiles The Dark, who also returned from Sonic and Shadow Generations. So it was nice to see him make his return, and he was a boss, which was one of my favorite fights in the game. Mephiles The Dark returned, trying to exist, trying to deal with Shadow the Hedgehog once and for all. And it was just cool to see him make a return. So I think if they brought back Maria and Mephiles The Dark in Sonic Shadow Generations, why not add them as playable racers in the game? They could probably have a chance of making base roster for these hidden slots. And then the other one, I went with Infinite. I want him to be able to get in, and he's also in my wish list, so I'll be on talking about that. I put him in my wish list in the mix, but these are just hidden characters that we probably could possibly end up seeing. I think Infinite might have a chance, and then I went with the Chao. I don't know if too many people like the Chao, but I like playing as them in this game, even online. See, it's 4 characters in one vehicle. I think this is the most unique racer that we got in TSR, because I don't think they ever made it in. Were they in any other Sonic Racing games? Sonic and Sega All Stars, and then Sonic Racing Transform. I don't think they were in those games. I didn't play them, but I don't remember them making the roster and becoming playable. But I think they're the most unique racer in TSR because it's 4 characters in one cart. So it can be something that they can end up doing again, and they can probably make their return. Maybe you'll be able to select the Chao, individually. The Dark Chao, from playing the playtest, from my experience, the Dark Chao was an item. He was an item instead. But what's stopping them from making them playable? He could be an item and a playable racer all into one, since they're all sharing a cart. So it's 4 different characters: Oma Chao, Hero Chao, Dark Chao, and then the regular normal Chao that's in the front. So it's cool to see that. And Oma Chao is the one that has the voice lines when you play as him. If you guys didn't know that, he's the one that really talks in this game. So maybe they could possibly return, but I also went with Chaos as a possible slot. So maybe Chaos might end up replacing the Chao as a playable character, and maybe Chaos Zero could be one of them, or just Chaos in general could be a playable character who I want to see become playable, because he's one of my favorite Sonic villains. Now, the other possible 5 from my list real quick could be all Sonic Prime characters. Anybody thought about that? The Sonic Prime series? And I think someone like Tails 9 is going to get picked up for sure as a playable character for Sonic Prime DLC. So I'm just going to run through the 5 characters that I selected for Sonic Prime. So I definitely feel like we'll see at least, I definitely think Tails 9 is going to get picked up. And I think Thorn Rose, the alternate version, well, another version of Amy, Tails 9 and Thorn Rose are going to get picked up. And then I also went with the Dread, or Knuckles the Dread. And then for my 4th pick, for the 4th Sonic Prime character, I went with Rebel Rouge. Maybe she's going to get picked up. And then maybe someone from the Chaos Council. So I went Chaos Council as another potential rep, just to stack up on the villains. And they're similar to Eggman, the Chaos Council. The different versions of him with different names. So I went with the Chaos Council as an ideal pick that might get represented. And if not, maybe Professor Jordan might even get in. But just like I mentioned before, but they might end up going as far as adding someone from the Chaos Council for Sonic Prime characters. But those are, I think, Tails 9 and Thorn Rose has the bigger chance, and maybe they'll get Rebel Rouge. Maybe those are three of the Prime characters I just managed to predict. They could probably end up getting in. Maybe I could be 3 or 5 of the Prime characters, even if they're not one of the hidden characters. So I just did those 2 separate lists for one that's focused on Sonic Prime characters that could be the base roster to take up those missing slots, and then a one that's a little bit of a mixed bag with a villain, some villains here and there, a Sega rep, at least one Sega rep, and then some characters that we've seen return from Sonic and Shadow generations that really might have a really high possible chance of getting added as playable racers for Sonic CrossWorlds. So now I want to get into my villains wish list, which I like. And the one thing I want to really do is play as a villain for this video just to have some fun. I want to play... Did I do Team Race? Okay, it's X-Vision. Let's do like a standard race while we go through the list, because I want to just do something a little bit different, just a little bit of gameplay. Let's play on... Love this song. The music is a little bit low.
Let's get the show on the road.
I love Zavok. I want to play as him.
I'm growing impatient.
So I'm growing impatient. So for this last portion of the video, I'm going to be getting into the villains wish list, and I just feel like I'll just be able to, talk and play at the same time, just for this live premiere, just to have some fun. But this villains wish list, it's not going to be as big, but I wanted to expand for Sonic villains. I didn't mention any Sega villains, of course, because we did all that in a different video for other different Sega characters to focus up on. But one thing I wanted to do, maybe I should have turned the music up, but I didn't want the music just to be too loud. But the one thing I wanted to really just get into is just how the villains, they don't really get much of a spotlight, which I was trying to say. They don't get much of a spotlight. It's so many heroes that's coming out that's going to be able to take over. It's going to be so many different options. Oh, I can adjust it from here, which is cool. Let's turn it up a little bit. 257. So it's just so many different villains that can get into this game. I think I'm gonna just start right here. But Chaos, Infinite, Mephiles The Dark, let's get those characters out of the way because we already talked about them. I put them already at the first 3 at the top of the list because Infinite deserves to return, and I would love to see how he reacts to Mephiles The Dark because the game has interactions. I can't wait to try to check those out and see how Jet reacts to Sage and so much more. It's characters that he's never seen before. Jet doesn't even know Zavok of the Deadly Six. It's just so many different possibilities and unique interactions that I want to see. Chaos, Infinite, Mephiles Dark, an old school duo. I wanted to add a duo in here, Scratch and Grounder, that I brought up in the older video as a possible returning character. Fang the Sniper, Black Doom, who was also in Sonic and Shadow generations. I did not play Sonic and the Black Knight, but I got to know this character. I think this is one of my newest, most wanted characters that I want to see. Merlina the Wizard from Sonic and the Black Knight. Getting to know this character and just spoiling myself the game. I wanted to find out more about this game, Sonic and the Black Knight. So I went with Merlina the Wizard. I want to see her get into this game as a playable character, and the Black Knight himself. I want to see both of those characters get in for Sonic and the Black Knight. I definitely want to play that game someday. I don't know if anyone out there has played it, but I want to see these characters get into the game and become playable. And then since we already playing as one of the Deadly Six members, which is exactly why I picked them, we got to get the other Deadly Six members that I selected that I want to see get into this game. We got Zeena, Master Zed, Zomom, if I'm saying his name right, and Zor. Here we go. Shout out to ouch. Don't we need the other deadly six so we can get a complete we get the complete six in this game. We need to get more. I was about to shoot big with the rock. What do you guys think about the other deadly six? Maybe they'll only add 2 of them because we only got Zazz from playing the playtest. He was fine. He's really fun to play. I don't see many people pick him. Not many people pick Zazz. Not many people picked him. So I would love to see the other deadly six members get in. Destroy Zavok later. See, it's gonna be fun to see all that stuff. What is he gonna say next to him in the newest game? Because Omega's back. But I want to see all the deadly six members get into the game. We got to get all these different types of characters in, so it's not a oversaturation of heroes. We want to get some new villains getting in, so they're iconic too. They play a role in the story for the Sonic universe. These characters can come back and try to seek revenge on Sonic. I know the game doesn't have story mode, but these characters can return to really try to get back at Sonic, to really be able to take the race by storm and really be able to get a spotlight and not just exist in one game and never to be seen again. That's just something I don't want. I don't want these characters to be stuck in just one game. We want this is called Sonic CrossWorlds. So some of the characters that have gone on or just don't exist as much anymore, this is a game for all these kind of characters to be able to return. I was about to be able to get through there. Another Quake. He said, woohoo! But that's what I want the most from this game. We want to get some characters that are obscure, that people say, characters that are forgotten, characters that people don't even remember. And even for me, I would like to see some of the characters from the IDW comics. That's the villains wish list in a nutshell. But they're all silent villains. So with Sega characters getting in, maybe the villains from those other worlds can be able to get in. I love this song. I wish he had said, only for you, Sonic. But you guys can chime in, name the characters that y'all want to see, even if it's not a villain. It's just going to be fun to see which direction they want to go, who they want to pick up next for this series. I'm just excited for the game. And just to get into this little additional portion when we finish up the race, because we still got a little while left of the track. I'm not sure when looks like Vector got me back. Knuckles catching up. So it could be a hero, it could be a villain, and with these Sega characters getting in, those other villains from those other worlds and different franchises can get in. I want to see Persona. I want to see Veteran and Streets of Rage and things like that. It goes on and on. Third-party characters can get in. We got Among Us already getting teased, so they can open up that door so other characters can be able to get in. It's just going to make the game even more successful, and all types of different ideas or all the different types of audiences can be able to get interested in the game. Plus it has crossplay. It's a winning situation. So this is something I want to see come to fruition. The rest of the other Deadly Six members can get in. We deserve to get even more. This could be one of the best Sonic games ever. Even if certain characters might be missing for now, they can get in later on. So that's what I really want. But we gotta get some more villains so we can get some antagonists to beef up the roster even more. I don't want to just see heroes. It's a fun little race. So we wanna go get in first place, get to the finish line with some villains, check them out. It's the character variety is there. It's limitless with this game because it can have third party, and Sega characters are already opening up that door because there's characters outside of Sonic the Hedgehog that's going to be in this game. So I'm excited to see what they do, and I'm not sure if the game's going to come out in the fall or the summer, but I think it's close to being done. If it takes a little bit longer, who knows what's possibly going to happen. the Sonic Rumble game has already been delayed until I don't know when, because it doesn't even have a new release date yet. So since Sonic Rumble got delayed, maybe such, well, I was gonna say Sonic Racing, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds might come out a little bit sooner rather than later. But if it does take a little bit while for a little bit longer for them to really bring the game out, if they want to fix things, I want they balance those items to fix the spam. Maybe we'll probably end up getting a new playtest, as I mentioned. But I wanted to just talk about villains to get on the spotlight today, and just talk about the hidden characters. It could be anybody. We could even see, I already forgot the character's name, the main host of this tournament from Team Adventure. I think his name was Dodonpa. Basically, think of the Dodon Ray from Dragon Ball Z. I think that was his name, Dodonpa, who I'm just looking at with his logo, because he's in the he has different little announcements during the race, things like that. Dodonpa could be one of those characters. Maybe he could be one of them. See, and it's just all the different possibilities. I wouldn't even be surprised if he could be one of them. Dodonpa could be one of those characters. I wanted to see what kind of type he is, with his whether he's speed, acceleration, and things like that, or a power type. It's just going to be interesting to see, and it's all the excitement is there, and all the potential is there, because just about any character can probably have a good chance, considering Sega's relationship with Nintendo, Capcom, things like that. We could even see Street Fighter characters join in. It's just there. It goes on and on. Well, let me know what you guys think about the villains that you guys want to see. Maybe even a certain character that you might be looking for. Some people looking for Hatsune Miku, and some other characters from these different worlds that can be able to get into this game. But I think they really have a really good chance of making a great, huge roster, and it's gonna have a lot of content and new tracks and crosswords for all the different Sonic worlds that can go around, along with Sega franchises that can really beat this game up.